Hi guys, welcome to the Pot Stirrers.
A podcast where two brown Catholic South Africans talk about the good, bad, and ugly sides of life.
Now, stay tuned for your hosts, the Duke and Dame of Stirring the Pot, Bugz and Bloo.
Hello, everybody. It's Bugz and Bloo.
Hello.
Back again. It's number 10.
Can you believe it?
Number 10.
Can you believe we've been at this for 10 weeks already?
Yes. More than 10 weeks.
Well,
yeah, but it's
for-
episode 10. Double digits.
I know,
yo.
right?
Double digits. 1
Send us
and
high
0.
fives, send
1
us
and
high
0, 1
fives.
0, 1 0, 1 0. 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Okay.
This bra's cooked in his head. But anyway, thank you for listening to all 10 or all 9 of our previous episodes. It's been worth the effort.
Yes, thanks
Or at
for
least
keeping
I
us
think so.
going and for encouraging and for your comments and your shares and your likes. Keep it up, guys.
And in a weird way, giving us like something
Inspiration.
to do.
Oh, yes.
So-
yes.
Not just something to do, but like a purpose.
Yeah.
After I realized that someone actually looks forward to our
Yes.
episode on their morning drive,
Yeah.
was when I realized that this is actually worth it.
Yeah. So we'll try and get them out on time in
When the
future.
gremlins are not fighting us.
Yeah.
Sorry, loyal listener, you all know who you are.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
very
shall
much.
do our best to deliver on time.
Yeah.
This week, what happened?
So this week we're going a bit into some, as usual, topic that people aren't talking about.
What did you read about? You were really
I read
excited,
about
but you were like really
robots.
confused about it.
I read about robots and some questionable experiments and Japan doing crazy things.
Robots? What do you mean robots?
So there is an anime called Gundam. So anime is Japanese cartoons, animation, hence
Yeah.
the anime, and they have robots in the show. So Japan recreated this machine.
They
It's
built
a-
the robots.
Yes, the actual.
Yo.
It's how many meters is it? It's like the size of a building.
I saw the
basically.
pictures. They
Yeah,
look
it's like the
as
size
tall
of a
as
building.
skyscraper.
Sky,
pretty
yeah,
much.
15 feet, 20 feet, 25 foot, whatever
That's
you want to call
cool.
it. So it's this huge ass robot that they made, and they can now move it with electronics, remotes. But no one's going to go inside. Not like
It's not a. It's not
it's not a man.
like a step in kind of robot.
Yes, it's what do you call it? It's not. It's unmanned. It's unmanned.
It's unmanned.
Yes, it's
okay.
unmanned, yeah.
God
But it
forbid
moves.
the day that it becomes manned.
Then we start blowing up things.
Yeah, then we start wrestling with robots and playing. What was that movie?
Which movie?
Probably Transformers. I can't remember if it is Transformers. Anyway, it
Okay.
it will come to me.
Like Battleship.
Oh,
No,
I
not
don't.
Battleship.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
alright.
Anywho, so this is how we got onto.
And then we spoke about your book. When I told you about that, then you spoke about the book.
I
you're
was telling
reading.
you about how things like interspecies reproduction or artificial reproduction
Yeah.
is all happening and how they're trying to grow human organs
Yes.
in lab rats and
Pigs.
things and recreates. What was it?
Pancreases or something.
Oh yeah, that was the organ.
Yeah.
Recreate mammals. I mean,
Not mammals, Neanderthals.
Mammoths.
Oh, yes, mammoths.
That's one of the projects, is that to try and get a live Asian or African elephant to birth a
Mammoth. Like a mammoth, like a real
woolly mammoth dinosaur,
Ice Age.
Ice Age mammoth. So, and we were like, why
What's
the hell
going on?
would anybody do this? Like,
No, it's like Jurassic Park, basically. Did they not learn from Jurassic Park?
Exactly. It's like, why would you want to relive Jurassic Park? So we were just like,
The whole
what
world's going
is
crazy.
going on? Why do you feel the need to do this? And it's like, what in your head made you think that you can do this?
Because humans are arrogant mofos that think that they are to the level of deities and gods, and they want to overplay their roles, in my opinion.
For me, I don't think they right and wrong, because it's like, is right objectively right or is wrong objectively wrong? Because scientists are thinking, okay, chill vibes, we're doing this for the greater good of humankind. We're growing a pancreas. Why would you not want a pancreas?
Yes, but then the thing is,
what's not being acknowledged in the
Yes.
process?
also, okay, they're growing the pancreas in a animal. The other thing is, the other study or the other experiment they did was they made something called a rat pig, where the
Gross.
rat had features of the pig or the pig had features of the rat, whatever.
And they were
We don't know which
basically
is
an
which.
interspecies.
Yeah.
So hybrids and the infinite possibilities that exist with all these kinds of experiments and pushing the bounds of science, it can get a little
Blurry. The line's getting blurry.
because it's only in recent years, and when I say recent, this is post World War II.
1942, 1941, around there.
So it's only post World War II that we've been trying to govern what's right and what's wrong. There's now an actual code of ethics.
Yeah.
Prior to that,
There was nothing.
you want to hear about some of the crazy things that people used to do?
Let's go for it.
And the reason why we narrowed it down to about five or six.
Yeah,
Five or six.
We only found quite a few, but these are the 5 or 6 main ones that
That we were like, okay,
speak about.
you decide whether this is unethical or not.
ethical. Yeah, and then you tell us.
And I'm really curious.
I don't know
I
what
want to
to
know
say
what
about
everybody
that.
else
Yeah.
thinks. It's like,
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to ask you guys. You could just listen and then give us your thoughts on it. Because I don't even know. I don't want to sway anybody's opinion.
Blue was like at a complete loss. He was
Yeah,
at a complete loss. He was like just walking up and down, and he's like making all sorts of strange sounds at me, and I'm like, make words.
I couldn't
my
find
friend.
words. I couldn't
Make words.
I couldn't find words.
So this is the first one that he actually couldn't find words over. So, Operation Midnight Climax.
The name sounds cool. I won't lie. The name actually sounds cool.
It does.
For Operation.
It does. Doesn't it sound like it could be a spy thing?
It is a spy thing.
Exactly.
It was done by the CIA.
And little kiddios,
Okay.
just be aware. Just be aware. Where these things come from. I think that would be my thing. That would be the first thing I would tell you to do when you're listening to all of this, is to just think about where and why.
Yeah, and listen to who is doing it, and then form your opinion about that department, agency, government.
We'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
So Operation Midnight Climax started in the 1950s.
Yes.
A whopping 70 years ago.
Yes.
And it was carried out by the CIA.
Yes.
Guess what they did?
Okay, so they tested LSD on unknowing subjects. This was done in America. And they tested the effects of mind-altering drugs. They surveilled with surveillance tech. And they also used sexual blackmail. So what they did is they put the people in a room. They unknowingly used LSD or given LSD in whatever shape, way, or form.
And they put them in a room and they watched them.
Yes, in like an interrogation room. You know, like the ones you see on TV?
So a bunch of people by the CIA in the 50s were fed LSD and left to be little goldfish.
Yes. And then they were blackmailed.
They were manipulated into doing all sorts of strange
And they gave them
things.
scenarios, I think. They gave them like scenarios to see how they would react and how they think. And it was just, I don't know.
See, Blue, and I know this is his natural stance. This is how he really feels on things. Unfortunately, he gave me the difficult job of devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But
You're good at that.
Thank you. So, if the study wasn't done, think about it. Mamas out there, kiddios, you got a son. Oh, sorry, it's a son who's on drugs. But the only way that you know what LSD does and how your doctor or psychiatrist or counselor can tell you what LSD is doing to your son is because of, example, Operation Midnight Climax.
Yeah,
So
but then why must you do it unknowing people? Why not tell them then?
it might alter the experiment.
How?
The thing is, do you even call this an experiment?
No,
that's a whole conversation. That's a whole different
Why? It's not an
conversation.
experiment. It's an operation. Why do you call? Why do you think it's called Operation Midnight Climax?
Oh, it sounds all spy-fied.
What good comes from an operation? In terms of a
tangible, goal. Yeah, I get you. There's no like outcome from the hypothesis. Operation is just something to carry out.
The reason why I'm saying that these people should have been asked, because LSD is an hallucinogenic drug, right? It makes you hallucinate. It makes you see things. So by you taking the drug and not knowing what you're taking, when you see those things, you think that you've really gone mental. So what if those people had a mental breakdown for the rest of their lives?
This is true. I don't know. The CIA would probably have put them away.
They don't give a F.
Guys, if you're tapping into our podcast, let us know.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
Okay, next is called MK Ultra. This was in 1953. They eventually shut down in 1973.
Again, a whopping how long ago? That's what, 50 years
50,
ago?
yeah.
50 years ago.
It was actually 1973 was 15 years before I was born. 14 years before I was born. So it's not that.
That's like yesterday, bro.
Yeah. It's not that very far long ago. So again, unknowing Americans were tested by the
Y'all
CIA.
poor Americans, huh?
They tested the to the extent where people could be mentally manipulated. For this, it was to see. It was something called a clandestine operation.
Okay,
So
please explain what clandestine
operation is an operation
even my cleverness don't know.
It's a tactic that you use to when the person does not know what's being done to them.
So like a psychological weapon.
Yes, basically,
Okay.
yeah.
An example?
The simple way to do it is that you're stealing something from your brother without him knowing that it's being done.
Okay, so being able to manipulate someone into doing something without anybody knowing.
But
anything.
even the subject doesn't know that he's doing it.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Almost kind of makes you feel like you're a little chess piece.
It's like if you watch the Bourne Identity with the Bourne, the Bourne series, whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
Jason Bourne as a character, basically.
So when they used him they trained him as a thing and they tried to kill him or erase his memory and they tried to do it again, and that's how they work.
It's so crazy to think that.
And we all thought, oh, this never happens, but it does happen.
It does. I mean, where do you think these ideas come from?
Exactly.
And at some point, somebody somewhere is going to want to turn these ideas into actual reality, which.
What do you mean actually turn? It is a reality.
Yeah, I know. That's why they were like, I wonder if this is possible. And then they did these all sorts of strange and weird and wonderful things. Take note how most of these things happened either during World War II or soon post World War II.
Yeah.
The next one that we found
Yeah.
was called the Milgram experiment.
All right, I remember this one.
Carried out by Nazi, let me see if I remember his name, Adolf Eichmann.
Yes, Eichmann, yes.
Okay, I won't make German jokes. But, so this experiment, a soldier, in the context of Nazi Germany, was instructed to shock a person when they gave the incorrect answer to a question. Now, he didn't realize that the person he was asking was an actor.
Yeah.
So the actor was pretending.
Yeah.
And every time the actor answered with the incorrect question, the soldier would need to shock them.
Yeah.
And even though they saw that this actor was in pain, so there would be a whole
They were in the same room,
visible
basically.
reaction.
Yeah.
They were in the same room, so they saw the whole visible reaction,
Yeah.
ouch, scream, blah, 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 blah. And yet they would still continue to shock them.
Yeah.
Reason for the experiment? Why? To see how far a person would actually go to listen to a figure of authority. And it was that even if you weren't willing to do it, you did it grudgingly, like you felt bad, but you still shocked the people anyway.
Yes, that's the reason for that was they were testing if they were really doing the work or the orders given by Hitler.
Yes.
Or whether they came from their heart, basically. They were trying to establish how far someone will go to follow an order.
And this was one of the ways. It's twofold. It was why the Nazi regime was so successful.
Yeah.
When it was in operation, because of the power of an authoritarian figure.
Correct.
But also because it helped in the Nuremberg trials.
Yes.
Because a lot of soldiers who were being charged with
crimes of war crimes,
crimes against humanity, those kind of things, they actually got off the hook because of this simple principle that was proved by them.
No, it wasn't proved by them. It was proved I think they were in trial in America, if I'm not mistaken, or the Americans would trial them, I think.
Okay.
I think this experiment was done in America, I'm not sure.
The Milgram
so.
experiments.
I think so. I can't remember. Was it not? Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry, America. We apologize
Up
for
next,
that.
what do we have?
Okay, the next one. Okay, this is where I thought this was not...
Devil's advocate was difficult for this one.
Okay, so this was a monkey drug trial. So what happened, they took a bunch of monkeys and they injected them with
No.
drugs.
They taught them.
Oh, they
how to
taught them.
inject
Sorry, yes, they taught them
themselves.
to inject themselves with drugs. The drugs they used were morphine, alcohol, cocaine, codeine, and
Amphetamines.
methamphetamines. Yeah. So those are the drugs they used. So they taught them how to inject
Shoot
them,
it up.
shoot it up to themselves. And once they realize they can do it on their own, they left them in cages and they left the drugs there, and
They chewed.
they let the monkeys do whatever they needed to get the drugs. And the sad thing about this is that the monkeys
I'm
actually
not sadistic.
the monkeys started breaking their limbs and tearing their fur just to get to the drugs, or because they couldn't get to the drugs. I think they tried to break their limbs to get to the drugs, to squeeze to because they were in cages.
No, they were left within the cage with
Yeah.
an ample supply of drugs. And what they started doing was they basically became addicted.
Yeah.
They started shooting up a whole cocktail of different drugs. And the psychosis from all of that was so bad that that's how they started breaking the limbs.
So what was the point of the experiment?
The point of the experiment was so that we could make little posters for our allo classrooms to tell little Johnny not to snuff a line.
But who got consent from the monkeys to do that experiment?
This is why animal testing is a bad thing. And
That's what I'm saying.
where the code of ethics comes in. And the code of ethics is still a pretty new concept. It's Nuremberg trials. Prior to
Okay.
that, there was nobody who governed anyone when it came to the ethics of an experiment.
All right.
Shall I make you a bit more sad?
Yes, talk about the next one.
Okay. You should see his face. Poor thing. So, the next one, and also let us know, Little Albert.
Yes.
Little Albert is this happened a while ago, was a 9-month-old orphan boy. He was experimented on, you choose what the word was, father of behaviorism. So any psych students out there, Dr. John Watson, you know him?
Yes.
Father of behaviorism. Why was this man controversial? He was controversial because he used to use orphans. He used to use orphans to test his theories and tests of behaviorism.
Yes.
So little Albert,
He's 9 months, not
Poor-
9 years. He was 9 months old.
poor little 9-month-old.
Had no parents.
I didn't realize this made you so upset.
No, but I'm saying, how can you use a little child, 9 months old, can't speak?
But wait,
anything?
listen to what he did to him.
Carry on.
Listen to what he did to him. This being Dr. Watson doing to little Albert. So little Albert was a cute little 9-month-old boy. Baby boy, he was an orphan. Nobody had any rights to him, and that was that. Dr. Watson then decided, okay, we want to see how fear works in children. Can
Yes.
it be conditioned? So he took 9-month-old little Albert, and he always gave him toys, fluffy rabbits, fluffy things, toys, showered him, showed him love. So mental association, he's like, okay, these are good things.
Yeah.
Aware, I'm happy, I'm safe.
Yeah,
Then he introduced little Albert to a live rat.
correct.
And
A white rat, by the way.
a
So it's
white-
a very important white
yes,
rat.
sorry,
yeah.
yes, a white fluffy rat. And so, what Watson did was every time little Albert touched the rat or
Yeah.
tried to play with the rat, Dr. Watson would make big scary sounds.
Okay.
And obviously, little Albert being little Albert, he didn't know where the sound was coming from.
Yeah.
But eventually, he associated every time I touch the rat, there's a scary
loud
sound.
noise, yeah, okay.
So, the more the sound happened, the less
He would
little
accept.
Albert touched the little white rat. What happened?
Yes.
They removed the little white rat from the room,
Okay.
and they took little Albert out into a normal environment.
Okay.
And take a guess what little Albert's afraid of.
White fluffy things.
Anything white and fluffy. Why? Because of the scary sound.
Now,
Point proven. Fear
Yes,
can
okay, or-
be conditioned.
but why do they need to do these things? Why do they need to do that?
I don't know. Because if they didn't do this, then how would we know these things?
do we need to do these things? That's my question. There's some things that we need
At
to
what
know.
cost?
And at what cost?
At
does it
what
come?
cost?
Yeah.
It's nice to know everything.
No, it
For
is
sure,
nice.
it's lovely to know everything.
It's nice to know
but
everything.
it's like,
Knowledge is power. I agree with that. Knowledge is power. But then we also
but our
look
question is at what cost?
and at whose cost?
And at whose cost? Yes, this is true. Because when you look at situations like this, it's always the powerless who are being
Affected
exploited.
Yes,
it's
definitely.
babies, it's animals,
And they
it's
always
it's people with mental health
and they,
issues. And
yes,
you're just
that's
like,
the thing.
Yes, I think
And
that's
they
what
pray-
struck a nerve.
And they prey on people who have who are not weak-minded, but they don't know any better, or they think they promise them
Easily
maybe like
manipulated.
exactly.
Easily manipulated. And this is where my issue, as much as I've played devil's advocate, and this is where my issue with all of these experiments
Yeah.
comes, is that informed consent is only informed up until a point.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's now the hoo-ha about what makes something ethical. Oh, there's been informed consent.
But then, okay, informed consent is you telling the person this is what is going to happen during the experiment.
But
This is
you
what
don't
they-
know what's going to happen after.
after the experiment. You don't know what state of mind they're going to be in. You
It
don't
could
know.
kill you.
What about, okay, if it's a young person and they don't have kids yet, if they do have kids, what if they pass something on to their kids? What if they lose their mind and kill themselves or kill 10 other people or go, I don't know,
And for me,
Texas
it's like...
Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing. You know?
With these kind of things, it's... For
Where do
me,
we draw the line?
It's where do you draw the line? And also... It's uncharted territory for everyone. So how informed is your informed?
Yeah, exactly.
How informed is your informed really and truthfully? Which is why I'm leaving you with the question.
What?
How do you determine what's right from wrong and whether these kinds of things are important? Because do you want to know how the information came about that little Johnny can see his poster in the Allo classroom?
About
that,
drugs, yeah.
That LSD and Coke is bad for him?
Well, for me...
Someone had to go through it.
Yes, I understand, right? Understand. But what, instead of using animals who can't speak, instead of using children who can't speak, use the people who volunteer. There are a lot of people, you can pay them if you want. Tell them this is what it is. We don't know unknown. Tell them you may suffer these things or you may not. You may be happy, you may be normal, you may not. Human beings, as people, we need to understand our role in society. Yes, we are at the top of the food chain. Yes, we have dominion over everyone. Yes, we have dominion over all the animals. But with that power, as in the movie Spider-Man, with power becomes responsibility.
That was Blue's bit for the week.
Thanks for staying tuned. Be sure to tell us how much you love listening to us.
We're all over the internet. Just search the Potstirrersdbn.
And pick your platform to like, follow, comment, and share. Catch your two favorite brown Catholic South Africans next week.
Stay safe.
Peace.